Hey Pete, what is the difference between the filter bags that we've got here in front of us?
Okay, so we've got two Work Floppy Filter Bags here. One's a 350 gram and one 500 gram. So visually identical. You can feel the difference in thickness, but it is not easy to tell the difference. So what that means is if you were to cut a 1 meter square bit of material out, this one would weigh 350 grams and this one would weigh 500 grams.
Oh, okay.
So it's a per square meter grammage. Okay. So as I said, visually, size wise, these two are identical. The only difference is the material thickness. Now what that means is on the 350 gram, these are 1.1 millimeters thick material and these are 1.55 thickness. So around about 40%, 40-50% thickness difference. Now the other thing to bear in mind is that with the thicker material, the less particles or less. So on this one, this will allow a certain amount of particles through, and it will allow more particles through because it's thinner. Whereas this one is slightly thicker, so will inhibit particles, smaller particles going through. So in a general sense, so this one with a coarse, medium size particles, so stuff like wood chips, grains, whereas this one is sort of more of a finer, would be better for a finer dust, where like cement, chalk, that sort of thing. With the thicker one, this also allows less air through, so the air permeability, which is the measurement of flow passing through a given area of fabric. Okay, so this one allows 225 litres per decameter, which is a very technical term, and this one is 145 in sort of real terms of what we would equate that to in meters cubed per hour or meters cubed per minute, because it's a very small number. This one is 1.45 meters cubed a minute of air, and this one is 2.25 meters cubed a minute of air. And they both, to push that air through, this is a requirement of 200 pascals of pressure. So with the same amount of pressure, this one allows 50% more air through it, but obviously gives less filtration. So it's a bit of a trade-off between the pressure resistance and how much you want to filter the particles.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It really depends on, obviously the primary goal is to protect the people, from the dust coming back out again. So you need to have the right filter for the job, and then hence the right fan to provide the right pressure to push the right amount of air through.
Right, okay.
So not super straightforward, but basically the 350 and the 500 gram do a fine job if they're doing the right application. All I'd say is if you're unsure, give us a shout, drop us an email, and we can help with some guidance.
Okay, and can you use them once they're fully blocked?
So blinded is the technical term. So obviously when you use them, they can become more efficient when they've got particulate in the filtration efficiency goes up, but then only to a point where they get blinded. So when they're sort of blown up with the air, when the air switched off and they relax down, some of the product will sort of fall off and allow the next time they're inflated. So ideally they shouldn't be inflated for like a whole 8-hour shift. They should be on a tea break or lunch break, switched off, allowed to relax and clean down.
Oh, that's cool.
And then be used again for a shorter period, rather than just leaving them constantly inflated with the pressure there, and the combining amount of dust being just pushed into the material.
Okay, so when you say this one is good for wood dust and this more cement dust, the smaller, finer, how small are particles are we talking?
Okay, so the 350 gram is rated at somewhere between, it will filter particle size between 5 and 100 microns.
Okay.
Okay, so 100 microns is 0.1 of a millimeter, so still quite small.
Yep.
And this one is rated at 0.5 of a micron to 20 microns, so
Oh wow.
up to 0.02 of a millimeter.
Tiny.
So really tiny, obviously difficult to see with the eye.
Yeah.
But, so that sort of gives you some idea of the filtration efficiency.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Yeah, great.